welcome to this practice. We have a guided meditation practice and we're recording this live in a Zoom meeting. But of course you'll only see me, we don't record the discussions. If you enjoy the practice but you would like to come to the Zoom live, you can do that through the YogaRogue community Facebook group. And there will be a link somewhere around this recording, this live stream, or in the comments. So welcome. So today I invite you to think about gratitude, but gratitude starting with gratitude for self. So it's a step or related to self-love and self-kindness and self-compassion, but a little bit of gratitude for ourselves, for our bodies, for even with challenges, what our bodies do for us, what we do for us. Remember that everything is an invitation, and if there's anything I suggest that doesn't resonate with you or makes you feel uncomfortable, then don't do it. That's fine. There's no right way, and this is your practice. So just to start, I'm going to stand up and move, but you can choose. You can stand or you can remain seated. And it's just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back down to either a seated or a lying position. So, just arriving here, and whether you're standing or sitting, feeling your feet on the ground. You might want to lift your toes and spread them wide. Rock a little back and forth, and just notice that connection with the ground, and perhaps you can visualize a connection deep into the earth, like roots down into the ground. And perhaps with that you can link a sense of safety and support. Gravity is pulling you down, bringing that strong connection to the ground, to the earth. And the earth is there, the floor is there, the chair, whatever you're resting on or standing on, supporting you unconditionally without you having to do anything. So just notice how that feels and how it feels up through your body. And I'm naturally swaying. You can join in and just have a little sway, side to side, maybe take your feet a little wider. Feeling the shift in your weight across the feet, across the toes, through your legs and hips. And then come to stillness. And take your awareness to your breath. You don't need to change it. Just notice it naturally flowing. And we're going to use our breath to move our arms. So inhale and let them come up just as high as you want. It can be only halfway or right to the sky. And exhale, let them come down. And you might move faster or slower than me, but keep doing that. Visualizing the breath spreading through your arms and causing them to move. One more. Maybe come onto your tiptoes if you're standing up. And let go. You might want a little swing side to side, just noticing what your body would like, what it might need at this particular moment, on this day, at this time. And come to stillness. And then find a position for your meditation practice. I'm going to come back and sit. You might want to sit in a supported chair. You might want to lie down. And I say it regularly, but traditionally we sit tall for meditation and unsupported with a straight spine, a kind of regal position. But I really do invite you to choose what you need today. And if that's lying down with bolsters and cushions and blankets, that's okay as well. So find where you can be as comfortable as you can be today. Sometimes discomfort in our body can make that difficult or tricky, but using props or just shifting a little can help. Find where you can be most supported, most relaxed. And we're going to go through a body scan, but with an awareness of deeper into the body and considering the space within the body, or the space our body takes up. And when we have a practice that guides awareness into the body, it reminds us to come home to ourselves as a body. We spend a lot of our time in our head, thinking and disconnecting from the sensations, from the physical feelings within the body. Throughout this practice, we're going to come back to appreciation and gratitude, and beginning with ourselves. Appreciation and gratitude for ourselves, for our bodies, even if our bodies have challenges, and the things that we do. And with that comes love, kindness, sometimes even joy, and perhaps a sense of peace. So settling into that position, perhaps roll your head a little side to side, just exploring. And soften the gaze, or if you're comfortable to, close your eyes. But you don't have to. Notice your whole body here again, supported. And perhaps visualize those imaginary roots down into the ground. And roots would bring nourishment if we were a tree or a plant. So perhaps we could imagine that as well. And notice your breath again. The inhale. That slight gap at the top of the inhale. And then the turn in the breath as it moves into the exhale. The pause at the bottom of the exhale before it moves again back into the wave of the next inhale. As you imagine or visualize space in your body, notice what arises, if any sensations arise. You may even have emotions which arise. Notice where in the body you feel them, where you experience them. And if emotions do arise, observe them. You don't need to get entangled in a story. There's no need to judge yourself for them. Notice with kindness and with gratitude in your ability to notice. Come back to the breath. If your mind wanders, your concentration diminishes, you can always come back to the breath. Notice breathing in and breathing out. And take your awareness down your legs and down the left leg to the left foot, to the toes. Is it possible to notice the weight of the toes on the left foot? The volume of the toes on the left foot. Perhaps you can notice the space within the toes. The left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe. You might imagine the breath filling that space within the toes. Breathing in and breathing out. And sensing that space within the toes. You might be able to do that with effortlessness. Perhaps you can imagine the space in the toes filled with gratitude, filled with kindness to yourself, filled with love to yourself. Notice the space between the toes. And move your awareness to the foot, the whole of the left foot. Perhaps you can imagine or visualize the volume and weight of that foot. Be aware of the space of that foot, in that foot, as that foot. You might be able to imagine the breath filling the left foot. Breathing in and breathing out. And perhaps you can sense the space in the left foot filled with gratitude. Gratitude to you, for you, from you. Gratitude and love. Kindness, compassion. Notice the space between the foot, around the ankle, and up to the knee. Can you imagine or sense the weight and volume of that lower part of your left leg? you might imagine the breath filling that lower part of your left leg, filling that space. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can notice or sense that space filling with gratitude. To you, for you, from you. Gratitude, kindness, love, compassion to you, for you, from you. Notice the left leg between the knee and the hip. Imagining the space in the upper left leg. You might imagine the weight, the volume that is that space. Perhaps you can imagine the upper left leg filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Can you imagine or sense or visualize that space filling with gratitude? Gratitude to you, for you, from you. Filling with gratitude, love, kindness and compassion. Notice the whole of the left leg. Perhaps you can be aware of the volume and weight of the whole of the left leg. You might imagine the space that fills the whole of the left leg. Imagining or sensing that space filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can imagine that space filled with gratitude. Gratitude to you, for you, from you. The space filled with gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. And move your attention, your awareness to your right leg, down to the right foot and the right toes. Can you notice the weight, the volume of the right big toe? The second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe. Imagining or sensing the space in the toes. Perhaps you can feel or imagine the breath filling that space. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagining that space filled with gratitude, with love, with kindness, with compassion. With gratitude to you, for you, from you. Move your awareness to the whole of the right foot, sensing or imagining the weight and volume of the right foot. You might imagine the space within the right foot, and that space being filled by the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can imagine or sense that space filled with gratitude, love, kindness and compassion. And noticing beyond the foot, from the ankle to the knee, the right lower leg. Perhaps you can imagine or visualize or sense the weight, the volume of the right lower leg. The right lower leg filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Sensing, noticing, imagining that space filling with gratitude to you, for you, from you. Gratitude, love, kindness and compassion. Noticing the upper leg between the knee and the right hip. Is it possible to have awareness here of the weight and the volume of the upper right leg? Imagining the space of the upper right leg and the breath as though filling that space. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can imagine that space filled with gratitude. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion to you, from you, for you. Can you move your awareness to the hips and the space between the hips and the waist? Are you able to sense, feel, or imagine the weight and volume of that part of your body, the belly, the pelvis, the lower back, the space between the front of the lower body and the back of the lower body? Perhaps you can imagine that space filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Are you able to imagine? Is it possible to sense that space filling with gratitude? Gratitude for you, to you, from you. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. Perhaps you can move your awareness up through the chest to the shoulders and down the arms, resting in the fingertips. Noticing the left hand, perhaps you can sense the weight and volume of each finger and the thumb on the left hand. The space within the fingers and the thumb. You might imagine the fingers and the thumb filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagining the fingers and the thumb, the space within, full with gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. Noticing the thumb and the fingers on the right hand. Perhaps you can feel the weight, the volume of the right thumb and fingers, and the space within. Imagining the breath filling that space in the right thumb and fingers. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagining or noticing that space filling with gratitude. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion to you, for you, from you. Noticing both lower arms between the wrist and the elbows, on the right and the left. Perhaps you can sense the weight and the volume of both lower arms. Noticing that space as though filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can imagine the lower arms, the space within filling with gratitude. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion for you, to you, from you. Becoming aware of the upper arms between the elbow and the shoulders, the right and the left upper arms. Perhaps you can imagine or notice the weight, the volume, the space within. Imagining that space filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can sense that space filled with gratitude to you, for you, from you. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. Becoming aware of the space in the chest, from the right shoulder to the left shoulder, from the collarbones down to the waist, from the front of the chest to the back of the chest. Perhaps you can notice, sense, imagine the weight, the volume of the chest. Noticing the space within and sensing that space filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagining or sensing that space filling with gratitude, love, kindness, compassion to you, for you, from you. Have awareness of the space between the base of the neck and the top of the head, between the tip of the nose and the back of the head, between the right ear and the left ear. Noticing the space between the eyes, the space within the mouth, perhaps you can sense or imagine the weight and volume of the whole head. Imagining or sensing the space within the head, filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagining, sensing the space within the head filling with gratitude to you, for you, from you. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. Perhaps you can have awareness of your whole body here, your whole body resting. Noticing the volume and space within the whole body. The whole body filling with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps you can notice the effortlessness of being aware of the whole body. And the space within filling with gratitude, love, kindness, compassion. You may wish to send some of that gratitude, love, kindness and compassion out into the world. Perhaps to somebody special, a person, a pet. Perhaps to somebody in need. Perhaps to all beings. Allow yourself to rest here, sensing that space within. Imagining that gratitude, love, kindness and compassion filling the space, filling the body. Resting here for a couple of minutes. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Bring your attention back to the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. as we approach the end of this practice, you might wish to take a moment to place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Perhaps imagining or sensing again that gratitude, love, kindness and compassion. You may wish to thank yourself for taking time to practice today. You might want to take some small movements, rolling the neck gently side to side, opening your hands, stretching your fingers, wiggling your toes, perhaps even stretching your arms out or overhead. And gently becoming aware again of the space that you're in. And slowly, as you are ready, open your eyes again if they were closed.